So this exercise is called wrist flexion with a free weight dumbbell, okay? What we're gonna have you do, Garrett, is you're gonna have your arm propped up just like it is right here, okay? And then what I want you to do is I want you to let this come down, keep your hands gripped, or your fingers gripped on, and then curl up, back down slowly, back up. All right, Garrett, so the next exercise we're gonna do is wrist extension, okay? We're using our free weight here. What you're gonna do is I want you to keep your arm propped up just like this. Have it so that your hand and your wrist is off of the side, good. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna let it come down to here, and then I want you to bring it up, good. Bring it back down slow, bring it back up, bring it back down slow. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is a radial deviation, okay, with your wrist. We're gonna use this dumbbell. So this is what I'm gonna have you do. You're gonna put this in your hand, just like that. You got a good grip on there? Okay. Just gonna let it down there by your side, okay? And now what I want you to let you do is your wrist, kind of just let it go down with gravity. And now I want you to flick it up. Try not to move the elbow, come from the wrist. Up and then down, up, down. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna do is called ulnar deviation of the wrist. We're gonna use a dumbbell for weight, all right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put this in your hand, just like that, okay? So you have a good portion of it sticking out from the back side, okay? Now what you're gonna let happen is your wrist, let it go limp with gravity, so it's being pulled down. And now I want you to actively pull it back down and up, down, up. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna have you do is called wrist flexion, okay? We're gonna use this TheraBand for resistance. I made a loop on here, so that way you can hold on to it like so, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put it underneath that foot, so go ahead and step on it. So you see how there's some resistance on it already, right?
Yeah.
So now go ahead and take this arm, you're gonna place it up here, good. When you're doing this exercise, just make sure that you keep your forearm on the rest, okay? Go ahead and hold on to here, good. Now what I want you to do is let it come down with gravity or against the resistance, and then pull it straight back up, back down, and back up. So the next exercise we're gonna do is some wrist extension, okay? But we're gonna use a TheraBand for resistance, okay? So what I'm gonna have you do, I'm gonna have you step on here. That's good. So now keep that arm rested on here. Make sure there's enough room for the wrist and the hand. I want you to go ahead and hold it just like this, and you can kind of wrap your fingers in between there. Good, so you got a good grip on it. Now what I want you to do is let it come down against the resistance, and then I want you to pull it back up. Good, bring it back down, and then back up. All right, so this next thing we're gonna have you do is ulnar deviation, okay? It's like flicking the wrist back. I have a TheraBand here for resistance. On this end, I have a loop for your hand. And on this end, I have a small knot that's gonna go on the other side of this door, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna throw this behind the door, close it, and now it's stuck, okay? It's about level with your wrist if your hand is straight down. I want you to hold on to it right past that knot. There you go. Okay, now what I'm going to have you do is flick back against the resistance and then slowly bring it back to neutral. Flick back, neutral. So just like how we did with the ulnar deviation, we got it attached to the door again, okay? So what I'm gonna have you do this time is instead of flicking back, you're going to be flicking forward, okay? So I want you to face that way, and I'm gonna hand it to you, just like this. Arms straight down. Make sure there's some good resistance on there, and then I want you to flick forward, and then back to neutral, forward, back to neutral.
So we're going to be working on grip strength here. So I've got some green putty. I just rolled it into a small ball. Basically what I'm going to have Garrett do is place it in his hand. All he's going to do is try and squeeze it as hard as he can with all of his fingers to flatten it out like so. And then he'll open it up, flip it over, make it into a ball again. And then you can just keep doing that over and over. Just keep squeezing. So I'll give that to Garrett. Go ahead and put your elbow up on there. There you go. So what I did here is I just rolled out a little bit of green putty into a little log. And what I'm going to have Garrett do is he's going to work on his pinching. So he's basically going to be doing index to thumb, middle finger to thumb, ring to thumb, and pinky to thumb. So he's going to start out pinching this way, and he's going to switch to the middle finger, and then to the ring finger, and then finally with the pinky.